The first time I saw a video about a guy trying to do a mini in 30 minutes, I honestly thought to myself, that doesn't sound bad. 30 minutes is quite a bit of time. I was wrong. Just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, I got 3 of them. By now you've probably seen a couple of the other channels do this kind of thing. For me, it's just a really interesting way to get out of my comfort zone and see what I can really do in as little time as possible. Some of the things that won't be included in the 30 minutes is the assembly and the cleanup of the model, as well as putting some Vallejo earth texture down and letting that dry. I thought about doing some smurfs for this one, as I haven't done smurfs before and I thought it would be a fun experiment, but given that I've only got 30 minutes, I decided to stick with what I know. I picked this sprue up out of the paint kit and I decided to just turn them into some challenge marines, see what I could do with them. I'm pretty sure the last time that I actually painted something in 30 minutes was when I was brand new, had my first beautiful Space Marine, and just slathered Tester's paint all over it. Pretty sure that's the only way I got down to that time frame. Time to get into the fun part. For this entire video, all 3 Marines worth, I'm going to be running this at 200% speed, and then anytime that you don't see activity on the screen, it's going to jump up to 1000%, just to keep moving along, but to keep that counter running. Starting out, laying down Stynylrez black primer, and then I'm going to mix in a little bit of white acrylic ink, and then for the final zenithal from the very top, I'm just going to use white ink. The problem with this being so fast is that these really don't have time to dry properly, so as I'm putting down my gray and my white, it's blending, which isn't bad in itself, except it gets a little bit sloppy. Here's my first really big break in the process. I had to roll away from the table and then go over to where my hairdryer is plugged in to get this guy dried up enough to move on. To work on my shadows, I'm putting in light umber. I want that brown to mix into the red to create those low lights and the shadow. One of the big challenges of this is swapping color. I don't really have time to do full cleans in between, so we're just going to blend it all in the cup. This layer is my bold Pyrrole red, mixed in with some of that brown. Quick splash in the cup to try and rinse out some of that, and then coming back with just straight bold Pyrrole red over the top. One of the things I didn't realize while I was in it, but I did pick up while I was editing out these videos, I spent a lot of time coming back in with this red and just being picky. I probably could have cut about a minute off this process if I just put down that coat and been done with it. Arbitrary break to go clean that airbrush so it doesn't clog up on me. Moving on to black, and instantly I realized this stuff had got watered down too much. It just wasn't giving me nearly the coverage that I needed, especially with a 30-minute timeline. And as you can see, I'm being a little bit picky with my black, and that's burning some precious minutes. $14 minutes, and I'm just putting in the eyes. Red and black. Probably took a little bit too long. Some of the takeaways that I got from this project: have all your stuff ready. Have your paints laid out, your brushes ready, have your water ready. Everything, because every time I had to stop, I was burning minutes, and I couldn't get them back. Grabbing copper to come in and do all the trim. This is going to stand up against the red really well and just give a nice color. Like I was saying earlier, I decided to stick with something I know, and that's just the Blood Angels theme. Red and gold. It's pretty easy, pretty familiar. My biggest goal in this is to figure out how to get through a mini in 30 minutes. It's nice to be able to say you can do it, but it's also nice to be able to get a squad of 10 guys done in only 5 hours. And I've got a bunch of guys sitting around from Dark Imperium release that I gotta do, as well as I'm hoping to get my hands on the Indomitus box coming up. They may not all be half-hour paint jobs, but being able to pull out the speed when you need it really helps get through the backlog. Mixing some black and white together to get some grays. I'm just coming in and doing really quick and dirty edge highlights. I'm going to work this into the weapon, and then I'll go back and hit the joints in between, like the knees and the elbows and stuff. 22 minutes in, it's been going fast. Now I'm coming back with a second highlight of just a little bit brighter gray. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know if this was necessary. Being on a 30-minute timeline and then trying to come in and do 2 highlights on the edges, probably not realistic. For the copper, I came back in with silver just to highlight some small areas to give it a brighter effect. Sitting at 25 minutes, and now it's time to go back in and try and clean up around the eyes a little bit. Not really sure why I did this here. I haven't done on any of my other Marines. My best guess is I just got nervous, had silver out, and figured I'd put it down since I was sitting at 26 minutes and didn't know what to do. Probably a little bit of poor planning, something I can resolve later on. So 27 minutes in, grabbed some orange and came in and did some really rough edge highlights. It does help the look of the Mini at 3 feet, but once you get up to like 6 inches, it's pretty bad. And here's what I got to show for my first 30 minutes. Let's give this another try now that I know a little more what I'm doing. For the most part, you've already seen this painting process. I'm not going to talk you through it 2 or 3 times. If you do have any questions about how I'm doing certain steps in here, put it in the comments and I'll try and answer it. Alright, faster already. Coming back in at 3.5 minutes. I'm ready to lay down some color. Even this early into the second round, I could feel the comfort level a little bit more, and I had a bit better plan having done that first mini. Alright, 7 minutes and we're through the airbrushing step on this one. Quite a bit faster than the last guy. I also fixed the problem with the black that I had, put down some fresh, and it's much thicker, covered a lot better. And realistically, that's one of the things that I wanted from this. Sure, it's a speed paint, but it also really helps me see some of the shortcomings that I have. And one of those is just being ready. I didn't have the right paints ready, which cut into my time. Made me miss out on some other steps I should have done. I don't know if you picked up on it, but go back and look at that first one again. I didn't even get to my brown paints. I didn't touch the leather. I didn't do anything on the ground. Nothing. Welcome to the future. We're now at minute 23. Unfortunately, my camera decided to fill up its memory card and just stop recording. Another thing that I should have caught, but in the rush of trying to do things in 30 minutes, I kind of overlooked it. Catch you up, we've already put down gold, already put down green on the eyes, already edge highlighted the weapons, and working on edge highlighting the red armor now. As a side note, I don't know how streamers do it. I really appreciate all the cuts that I get to do when I'm making other videos, because that allows me to just get rid of all this stuff that's out of frame. So, for any of you guys that stream, good on you. "27 minutes. What to do. Sitting here wasting time making decisions. Decided to go with some white and put a second edge highlight on the red to make it pop. Pulling out the wash at 29 minutes. Pretty bold move, right? Didn't quite make it. Decided to finish out the wash step since I really didn't want to leave it looking that ugly. Alright, grand total for Marine number 2, 31 minutes, 24 seconds. Here you can see a little bit of the difference between the two. I honestly think the wash step is really important, and I wish I would have gotten around to it on number 1. I really like the reds on number 1, but there's no contrast with that dark color in the recesses. One camera reposition later, and here we are ready to go for number 3. So on model number 1, didn't make it to the wash step. Model number 1 and 2, I didn't do anything to the base. So far, I'm busting on this 30-minute mini. At this point, I'm not sure if painting them red makes them go faster or it makes the clock go faster. on a color at 3 minutes. This is working out. I'm speeding up. I'm getting onto my colors faster. All that speed, I was doing so good, and here I am just fiddling with the reds. Probably burned an extra 30 seconds that I could have saved and spent on something else. This time I decided to go ahead and start with the browns. No crazy mad scientist reason behind it. I just wanted to change it up and see if it would help at all. I have heard third time's the charm, so I'm just going to hang on to that and hope this one works out. Any of you guys out there ever tried this madness? If you have, let me know how it went. I'm interested to see if anybody actually got through this in 30 minutes. I have seen some people paint up orcs in 20 minutes. That's pretty crazy. There's a lot of different skin and armor on those guys, and I'm really impressed by that. "11 minutes, we're through the brown, we're through the black, moving on to gold." Once again, a lot of respect for you streamers out there that can actually keep this stuff in frame all the time. Also, after editing this video on number 3, not a big fan of this camera position. I'll probably be changing that again. I do remember feeling at this point in the model that I was ahead. I thought I had this one. This is in the bag for sure. Little did I know. Overall, it's a rough application in the 30 minutes, but I do really like the way that the bolters came out, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to carry that over. Alright, 19 minutes, I'm flying, right? Got the blacks highlighted, coming in and highlighting the brown. Looking good. "21 minutes, moving on to highlighting red." How many of you guys out there picking up that Indomitus box? I really like the Marines in it. I think they're really cool. They look really good. I'm not sure if I'll actually use them or not, but for style points, they've got that covered. I missed this chest highlighting on 1 and 2. I'm pretty surprised that I did, but I'm assuming the clock just got to me. It came out looking much better having that edge highlighting in the chest area. That being said, I do think I got to myself a little bit because I felt like I was so far ahead. I edge highlighted way too much on this red. You can see me doing it here with the orange, and then I'm going to come back in with white and do it again. Here it is, 25 minutes, plenty of time, right? Why not edge highlight with white? Pretty sure after fixing up this red, I kind of took a look at my time and realized that I was almost at 27 minutes and hadn't gotten 2 things that I really wanted to do done. There you see me slip on it again, burning more time coming back in and fixing red. Alright, here we go. First time getting to the ground. Really happy I made it to this step. The problem with doing this is, I knew that in order to do this ground cover, I had to skip my wash step, because I wasn't going to be able to get both of them. there we are, no time to start up another step, so I'll just wait, and 30 minutes. Honestly, I like the way it looks. Is it complete? Not even close. Win, lose, or draw on this one, I had a lot of fun. I gotta try something different and really see just how quick can I get some paint down and still have these guys look good. I do have a box of iron jaws laying around. I bet you those guys would be pretty fun to try and do in 30 minutes. Next up, let's find out if I can paint 10 Marines in 5 hours. Doing it on a bulk scale should cut my time per Marine down, and I think that can get me under 30 minutes. Time for a bit of a quick review. Number 1, Great Reds. Way too slow. No ground cover, no wash, but the reds do look really good. Number 2, got around to the wash on this one, still wasn't able to do the ground. I really like the dark red on the armor after the wash. It's a different look from number 1, but I think they both look pretty good. And number 3. Once again, the highlights really pop off this guy. I think it was a good use to put some white into him, but it took up a lot of my time. I was able to get ground cover, but I wasn't able to wash him. And there you have it. The answer to the question, can I paint a Marine in 30 minutes? Nope, not yet. But I do think that if I work on this a little more, I can get there. I didn't want to leave these guys like this, so I put about 4 to 5 minutes into each of them, and here are the results after that. These ones are 35-minute Marines, and I like the look of 35-minute Marines. As I said earlier, I need to get down to 30 minutes. You win this time, 30-minute Marines. I'll get you next time. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.